I absolutely love Lollipop Chainsaw, and I was so happy with Repop. I did think it was a little bit rough around the edges initially, but they patched it up, they added new content, and they just did a phenomenal job with it all around. But I always questioned why they didn't make more Chainsaw games. Was it because of Dragami games? Was it because of James Gunn? Did they really have no other ideas set in this universe? But now we're actually finding out that Dragami Games and Nada Holdings are going to jointly develop a new Lollipop Chainsaw like set of projects or like a universe because they're doing multilateral developments and collab projects with other industries. And I think that this sounds so freaking cool. So it says Dragami Games has signed a partnership agreement with the Taiwan-based investment and development company Nada Holdings to jointly develop multiple new projects related to Lollipop Chainsaw's IP. So according to the press release, these developments include multifaceted projects and cross-industry collaborations. 13 years ago, our original development team poured immense passion and creativity into creating Lollipop Chainsaw, said the Dragami Games president and CEO. Since then, the game has continued to receive tremendous support and love from fans. We are deeply grateful for this, and it moves us profoundly. To further expand the title and meet the expectations of our fans, Dragami Games has made the important decision to move forward with a new phase of IP development for Lollipop Chainsaw. The team at Nada Holdings shares a deep affection and enthusiasm for the title, along with a proven track record in IP investment and development. Through this partnership, we look forward to working together to create new projects that carry on the spirit and charm of the original while bringing fresh value to the franchise. Now, obviously, Lollipop Chainsaw was developed when games were extremely edgy and developers were taking risks and taking chances, and I think that Chainsaw worked so well for this group of developers. They made a phenomenal project, and of course, James Gunn did end up helping with some of the writing. But while I am definitely excited, I'm more cautiously optimistic because I don't necessarily know how a modern day Lollipop Chainsaw would turn out. I think the Repop team did a fantastic job creating that because they were respecting the essence of it. I actually did a interview with the producer, Yoshimi Yasuda, where we talked about developers losing creative freedom and also how the team put Repop together. But this team was definitely worried about respecting the material and respecting the fans. They had assured fans that the original devs have, the same feelings about censorship as you do, and they didn't end up censoring it. Yes, there was Repop mode, which was technically a little bit more toned down, more stylized, but there was the original mode completely untouched, which was great. Though having a brand new Lollipop Chainsaw made today definitely has me a little bit worried because we know how modern day developers are. I hope that the team that made Repop is going to be primarily the team behind this and that they do, have a lot of respect going forward still, though always be cautiously optimistic, especially for something that was a little bit edgy like Lollipop Chainsaw. I love Juliet. I love the story. I always thought what would have been really cool is if you had 3 games but they were all about the different sisters. So the first one is Juliet, the second is maybe Rosalind, and the third is Cordelia or something like that. And then at the end of each, the family is helping out the sister kind of reach her goals and meet her dreams and stuff like that. And then maybe there was a 4th game where it was all of them working together. That would have been super cool, though Juliet is a great character all around. I'd love to see her, get a lot more screen time and be another lead character. She is one of my favorite female video game characters, actually, and the game is just so bright and colorful, and the comic panels are really awesome. It's just a great game all around. So I am very excited to hear that they are doing more with Lollipop Chainsaw finally, and I know a lot of gamers feel the same exact way. Finally, I used to pray for times like these. I wouldn't mind if they remade Lollipop Chainsaw because the remaster sucks if it's your first experience with the game. My major criticism with Repop was the music being different. I understand that it was out of their control and the way that the music industry works is insane and they couldn't get all of those songs back for the remaster. That was a bit disappointing to me. I know that you can just mod it in a couple of minutes if you're playing it on PC, though it was a little sad. I do think that definitely ruins the experience if it's your first time a little bit, though it is still a good remaster in my opinion. This is absolutely insane. Super excited. Sign me up. Watch Lollipop Chainsaw get more games than IPs like Mega Man in the future. Absolutely crazy timeline. I'm curious to see if someone like Gun will be affiliated with this. Who knows? But like I mentioned, I did an interview with the Repop producer, Yoshimi Yasuda. It will be linked down below in case you're interested in it. But of course, we talked a lot about the state of the industry and censorship and Repop, and I'll read a little bit here. Was it exciting working on Repop? Were any of you nervous with the task presented to you? He said working on Repop was a pretty thrilling experience, and the transition from Unreal Engine 3 to UE5 was especially challenging. We were blindsided by how different just 2 generations had made to it, and to be frank, half of the source code had to be rewritten from scratch. On the other hand, advancements in technology let us implement CG expressions that we were unable to put in the original release, bringing a positive spin to the challenges we faced, almost making it fun. For example, in the original version, we used special lighting to make Juliet look more pretty in cutscenes, but in Repop, we didn't need to add anything special to make Juliet look better. She was naturally beautiful. I talked about how he went from being a CEO to an executive producer and director. The gaming industry has evolved a lot during your time in it. Is there anything you missed from the beginning days that you think is missing now? What I miss from the earlier days of the industry here in Japan is more constructive communication between creators and fans. Recently, the trend has been that new releases are immediately met with criticism, and sometimes these criticisms are based on misunderstandings or wrong interpretations. As a result, true feedback with value is often only available after the release, which leads to creators increasingly avoiding communications with fans. In the past, there seemed to be more room for creators to listen to fan feedback and incorporate it into the development, but I feel that kind of environment has been diminishing in recent years. I asked if he felt artistic vision and creativity are being stifled at all due to market trends, and he said, as a game creator who also serves as a CEO, I can take on the responsibility for decisions on such issues, so it doesn't personally worry me much. For example, with a project like Repop, where we sought to make a faithful reproduction of the original, we approached development with the primary goal of perfectly recreating the artistry and creativity expressed in the original version. However, I do feel that changes in the market are making it harder for game creators to maintain the freedom they once had. The market has become more monopolized, with the winning games dominating the market, meaning the share available for games in second place and beyond continues to shrink. In such a market environment, the mental pressure on creators is considerable. When creators lose their freedom, the creativity that drives passion and playfulness in a game tends to be lost as well, and that isn't a good thing. So if you do want to read all of this and listen to my video on it, it will be linked down below. But I had finished off with asking if there was anything the team would like to say to the players who love the experience, and he said, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has shown interest in Repop from my heart. The smooth progress of Repop's development and release is thanks to your honest feedback and warm support. We are currently still working on Nightmare Mode, which has come out, and we will do our best to ensure that we can bring you high quality content. So it was a really great interview overall, and I'm really happy to hear that we might be getting more Lollipop Chainsaw content in the future. Obviously, cautiously optimistic though. Repop was really fun. Lollipop Chainsaw is badass. And while I am definitely, saving a lot of my excitement until we actually see what these projects are, because if we just get trash mobile game slop, it won't be good. I'm hoping that we are going to get a true sequel, which could be badass. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.